Welcome to Friday here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. We're just one day out from the 24 Hours of Le Mans. We had Hyperpole last night. We know who's going to be on the front row. It's Cadillac Hertz Team Jota, though, who stole the show. Alex Lynn with a magic lap in the number 12 car. They're going to start on pole position for sports car racing's biggest event. I think this is a true sign of Cadillac's one-lap pace, but can they keep it up throughout the 24? We'll find out in just a moment. In LMP2, though, Matthias Besch set the best time in the TDS Racing LMP2 machine, and it's the Heart of Racing team on the LMGT3 pole with Mattia Drudi, who put in a stunner at the end. We saw a new qualifying format all throughout the weekend, a two-stage Hyperpole that provided a lot of excitement. And there's a lot of excitement still left to come with the 24 Hours tomorrow. Let's bring in our Davey Euwema and Jamie Klein to preview the race. Was a lot to look forward here for the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Let's start, Jamie, with the hypercar class at the top. Cadillac starting 1-2, but can they maintain it? It's a long race.
It certainly is, and I spoke to Cadillac Hertz Team Jota technical director Tomoki Takahashi earlier in the week, and he believes it's possibly a little bit early to expect Jota to be able to go the whole distance. Of course, one-lap pace is one thing we saw last year, that the Cadillac was very strong in qualifying, front row start for Alex Lynn. Of course, he was delighted to get the revenge almost for his defeat at the hands of Kevin Estre in Hyperpole last year. But of course, race pace is a different matter to one-lap pace, and it's going to be really interesting. Of course, they've got all the LMDHs behind them. The Porsche Penske cars are looking good. We have also the BMW, the lead BMWs in the mix there, and fourth on the grid. So it's going to be really interesting to see how well they can maintain this. Of course, the double stint the tyres, triple stinting the tyres. This is where we see that the teams with the best chances really make their moves, and I think we're going to see the order change a lot throughout the first couple of hours of the race.
We've all been going through before the race trying to predict who is going to come out on top. I think more this year than in any of the years, I think, in recent memory. There's so many manufacturers that are genuinely in contention for a win.
Yeah, I would say Toyota and Ferrari, despite their disappointing qualifying sessions, I think there's individual factors that can kind of explain that away to a certain extent, and I think we know on race pace they'll be there. Porsche looks very good. They look like they could be ready to finally get the job done at the third time of asking with the 963. I still think Cadillac does have a shot. Maybe they're not the favourite. And then, of course, BMW, I think, is a little bit of a wild card. Alpine doesn't seem to be too confident. And then I think we can probably rule out Peugeot and Aston Martin based on what we've seen. That's still 5, if not 6 manufacturers in with a chance. It's going to be a brilliant battle.
I think even at this stage, we may not even know until a couple hours into the race who's really got what. But, Davey, we've got 2 other classes as well. LMP2, which, of course, is LMP2 overall, and then the Pro-Am ranks as well. And LMGT3, still plenty of contenders. LMP2 is always close here, and LMGT3 has provided some great racing all weekend long, but all season long. What are some of the stories you're watching in those 2 classes?
I think for LMP2, one of the potential factors is the possibility of a Pro-Am upset, potentially. Ultimately, a bronze driver in a car is always a bit of a drawback if you got a car with no bronzes, but there are some very good, the bronzes here are arguably the best in the world, and some of their lineups are stacked with fantastic talent. Just look at the car that's on pole, that's a Pro-Am car with Matthias Besch, Klein and Novalak, who are both very quick all through the week. LMP2 is maybe even more difficult to predict than the hypercar is, because it's just the nature of the same car, so everyone's already close together as it is, but there's some very, very talented teams up and down this lineup, so it's going to be a battle. And we saw last year that might just go down straight to the wire. And then for LMGT3, it's the second year for this class here. Last year was obviously Porsche very much through and through. This year it looks a lot different. For example, Lexus is a lot better than they were last year, something a trend we've seen in the past WEC races. Ferrari is strong. BMW never count out Team WRT, I always like to say. So it's going to be such a fight, and I think it's going to be very important as to see who can get through the night the best, as it always is. Let the bronze do his time, keep the car clean, and then put the fast guns in for the final 5-6 hours, and anything can happen at that point.
I think anything can happen is the story heading into the race. There's so much to play for in all of our 4 classes, and whoever you're rooting for, you can follow along with all of our coverage throughout the 24 Hours of Le Mans and after on Sportscar365.com.